Okay, let's talk about slopes of lines. Right, so let's start with the definition. Right, so the slope, we usually use a lowercase m, and we all know the definition, right? Definition of the slope is in English, rise over run. All right. So all you really have to do is to come up with a formula. We can just express rise over run in terms of x1, x2, y1, y2. All right. So let's look at a picture. So we have this line. So I'll just draw a random line here. All right, so let's say this guy go through a couple of points, say around here, so here, so 2 points. And the coordinate here is, let's say x1 comma y1. So x coordinate is x1 and the y coordinate is y1. So here it's x1. All right, then y coordinate of the first point is y1, right? And the second point, so I'll just put say somewhere around here, right? Then we look at the coordinates, right? So here, and here's the y coordinate. Right, so let's say x coordinate is say x2, and the y coordinate is y2. Right, then the slope of this guy is going to be rise over run. So let's try to visualize this right triangle here by extending this vertical line here and a horizontal line segment. Then you can kind of see the right triangle here. Right, so rise is going to be, so if you think of going from this first point to the second point and how far it rises, so you can see that the rise is going to be from here to there, right? But that's just going to be a difference between, say, y2 and y1. So this rise is going to be y2 minus y1. Right, so this is going to be our rise. Right, then run is going to be, how far do you move horizontally. So you can see that this is going to be our run, and that's going to be the difference between y2 minus y1. So it's going to be y2 minus, x2 minus x1. So this is going to be our run. All right, so the slope formula is going to be simply rise is y2 minus y1, and run is going to be x2 minus x1. Right, so that's the slope formula. Maybe I'll just right, so this is the slope formula. All right, so let's do a simple example here. All right, let's say we want to find the slope of the line passing through both of these points, 1 comma negative 2 and negative 3 comma 4. Right, so first thing we would do is try to name each coordinate. So I'm gonna call this guy x1 and the negative 2 is y1, right? And then here this is going to be x2 and the 4 is y2, right? So therefore, just following the formula, the slope m is going to be, right, so y2 is 4 minus, and y1 is negative 2. So I make sure to put the parentheses so we know that we have to apply negative sign there. Right, then x2 is negative 3, right, minus x1. x1 is 1, right? So this is going to be, 4 double negative, so 4 plus 2, 6 on top. Right, so it's a negative 3 minus 1, so it's negative 4. Right, so this can be simplified to negative. Right, both is even numbers, so divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So it's negative 3, negative 3 halves is the slope. All right, then just in case you're wondering, if you decided to call differently, say it doesn't really matter. If you decided to call this guy, for example, x1, x2, and a y2, right? And they call this one x1 and a y1, right? You see that if you follow that naming convention, you will get, all right, so y2 is negative 2 minus y1 is 4, and x2 is 1 minus negative 3. x1 is so negative 3, right? And you see that you're going to get negative 6 over, and double negative 1 plus 3 is 4. So therefore, you get exactly the same thing, negative 3 halves, right? So it really doesn't matter which one to call which, but you have to make sure that the x2 and y2 goes together, and x1 and y1 go together. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.